Welcome to hell. Downtown River.
Apparently we're below the Mason-Dixon line.
Yes, I've heard that before.
Hello and welcome to the Jersey Shore Musicians Podcast. I'm Matt. That's Jeff.
Hello.
And tonight we got my good friend, Mr. Chris Fritz.
Oh, golf club.
Good evening, gentlemen.
How we doing tonight?
Doing great.
Did you find the place all right?
No, I had to go by the driveway 3 times.
Nice.
It happens to everybody.
2 times. And after the second time, I realized, wait a minute, I can just make a left straight into that place. I'm not going to do this loop-de-loop.
Yes.
It throws everybody a curveball. One guy ended up going past it and then like reversing halfway back down the block and almost it was this.
That's fun. It's a nice hidden gem in Tom's River here. Anyway, so how's it going, man?
Going good, man.
So tell us a little about yourself. You're like a jack of all trades. You're going this way. You're doing a solo record. You know.
Yeah. I try to keep myself fully immersed with music. I have an original metal band called Dying Light, old school metal sounding band.
Who has been on the podcast?
Yes, they have. I was not present, but I'm the bass player.
If you want to check that out, I believe it's episode 9, I think.
Oh, I don't know. What
Something like that.
Awesome memory.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I remember shit that doesn't mean anything, you know?
And for the last 23 years, I've been doing the whole bar, club, restaurant cover scene, solo acoustic, duo, trio acoustic.
I think you play pretty much anywhere you can play on Long Beach Island.
Well, we'll talk about that. And I also have 2 cover bands. One like a party rock cover band, and one's more of a hard rock, classic rock cover band. So
that's awesome. So
I keep busy.
Yeah, you kind of seem like you switch gears all the time. Like, is that a pain in the ass, or is that you're just so used to it now?
That keeps me happy.
Okay.
Because my attention span is kind of short, and my tastes are wide. So I like that I get to play metal, and I get to play country sometimes, and I get to play whatever I want. Everything that I like, I'm throwing into whatever I'm doing.
Yeah,
so
you have a situation for every outlet.
Yeah, and it appeases all my my interests.
Okay,
so,
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, because you can't really just play everything at one spot. It would never work.
No, it would never work.
No, it would never work.
No. Versatile, I guess I am.
That's good, though, because
you have to
keep you busy. Yeah. So let's talk about your solo record stuff that you're doing.
Okay, well, this is something that's very new to me as a musician. I never focused on songwriting, never was attracted to picking up an instrument to write music. I was just more about playing songs. You know, I love music, and I like the fact that I can pick up a guitar, and I'm fortunate that I can play by ear. So I was happy being creative with other people who are writing, you know, such as the Dying Light situation, and I was in several situations when I was a teen 30 years ago. So doing this now, I've flirted with it on occasion for most of my life, but just never immersed myself. So the last couple of years, especially during the pandemic, I wrote a few things, and those ideas have been floating around, and I still wasn't sure what was going to ever become of them or what I wanted to do. And honestly, being in Dying Light was a motivator, because just getting back into a studio atmosphere and being creative with Jim and Jeff and Sean and Doug, it got the juices flowing. So I just said I'm gonna pick a date, a deadline, and it was the fall. I wanted to have 4 songs ready to roll, and I went in old school style, recorded everything live. Well, I recorded the vocal and the guitar track live, and then went back in and overdubbed harmonies and put some very novice kindergarten level harmonica to fill the spaces where someday there might be a lap steel
Sometimes
piece
that's all you
or
need, though.
Yeah, that's true too.
Just that little accent.
And I got all 4 songs done today in like 3 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you feel like it's different because you're on your own? You're not sitting there creatively growing ideas. Like you're the captain of the ship.
Yeah, I can. Well, that's one good thing. I have a sound in my head. I hear all these songs with a band, and I hear the percussion, I hear the bass, I hear what everybody's doing. I just got to figure out a way to communicate that and find the people to do it. If I do it, that's the other thing. Is for the longest time, I don't. Well, I know so many really talented songwriters, obviously, and for me to do it, I feel so novice at it. It's putting myself out there and bringing I wrote this is my song, and worrying about what people are going to think about it.
You're worried about if you put something out there, it's not going to be up to par,
or people are going to like make fun of me behind my back. And honestly,
well,
I got
that's
to the
going to
point
happen anyway.
No, of course, people already do that. I hope they do.
I mean, I do it to Matt all the time. So
That's what best friends
you don't
are
do
for.
it behind my back.
yeah, oh yeah, that's right. I look at you. Sorry,
but I realize I don't care. That's not what I'm doing this for.
It's for you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing this for me. This, like, my wife was like, "Well, what do you plan? What do you think you're going to get from this? Do you think you're going to
Satisfaction?
Like somebody in Nashville is going to hear this?" I laughed, like, "Oh no, God, no! I just want to document it. Like, you make a painter or a sketch artist, or any artist can they create what they create, and they want to have something to go back and look at it. So I didn't want to do it in my basement or to a tape recorder. I wanted to make it sound decent and just have it for me. Share it with friends, share it with people that want to hear it. Pay the annual fee to have it up in the streamosphere.
Throw it up at a gig for a couple bucks when you're doing your cover band stuff.
Yeah, I don't even know about that, but it's just fun.
No,
and I did enjoy it.
That's the whole thing. We lost that. We lost that whole idea of this music's for us and it's supposed to be fun.
What do you mean you lost it?
Most musicians.
Okay, well, that's because I took a 30-year, well, not 30. I took almost 30-year break. Yeah, I took a 30-year break from doing original music and having that mindset. When I was 19 or 20, and just stopped playing music for the next 5 years, and the next time I went back was just doing cover stuff. But when I stopped doing it, at that time, like, it was do or die. Like, this is my life, and I never wanted to be on stage at Madison Square Garden. Those weren't my goal. My goal was just to be able to make music and make a decent enough living out of it that I'll be able to eat and pay rent and record my next album.
So you got another job, right? We all think that, and we all get jobs.
Well, I thought, and I know I did. I had a really good thing going in 1992, and just it was the time. It was a straightforward rock band that I was in, and I wasn't the primary songwriter. The guitar player was, and we had a great following based on all of the singer and guitar players' prior projects. They had a pretty good run through Tom's River Seaside and Asbury scene at the time. So we had a decent following. We were killing it at fast lanes and places like that. But it was, we're playing like AC/DC kind of rock, which was great. But now I'm off, like, for the last couple of years, I've been listening to like weird stuff. I'm listening to like Jane's Addiction. I'm listening to Dinosaur Jr. I'm listening to things that are outside of that box. And I'm like, hey, maybe we should start putting in elements of this. And I brought in a song, and the dude was like, the fuck is this? We're not doing this. And me being a 19-year-old kid, I was like, well, fuck you then. Out the door I went, and then after that, nothing ever happened. And so I 30 years later, now I'm back doing it again, but just for the art, which is what it should be. If every kid sets it out to be that way, that's okay, but nobody wants to do anything. Musicians don't want to have a real job.
No, they're fucking.
Oh no,
no way. Nobody wants a real job.
Yeah, no.
And I went into Southern Regional High School for a few years, and they had a thing called Career Day. And just because I learned so many hard lessons, I went in and tried to have like a thing for musicians and tell these kids, don't waste your time going and getting a job at a construction place, some bullshit. Put a cover band together. You can make so much money if you're a good musician. That can support your art. You do the cover thing to support your art.
Yeah.
And most of them didn't do it, but a couple of them did, and they're still successful. Making music, whether it's teaching or studio work, session work, cover band, and they get to still make their.
If you get that rock star mentality out of the way, there is money that you can make in music. It's just not what you set out to do.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I'd go back to my 20s again. That was so much fucking easier. Play gigs, get drunk, hang out, do it again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now it's like, I'll do the gig, but we're done by 5 in the afternoon, right? It's like an afternoon gig.
I did one, what, like a month or two ago, and I'm like, what time we ending at? Like, we're done at 1 a.m. The fuck is that?
Yeah. He sends me a picture after like the second set. He's like, dude, I'm dead. I'm ready for bed.
Because when COVID happened, I was like, yeah, I'm done.
That
Fuck
ruined
this.
it for everybody.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't want to do this anymore. Fuck this,
Yeah, I threw in the towel for a little while, saying no more late gigs, but I enjoy playing with my band on occasion at Old Causeway in town, because I play acoustic there once a week, and it's fun. There's no place local in Manahawkin and LBI that I really have to bring my band, so that's one venue that is great, but it's a late start.
Yeah.
So for a little while, I was like, nah, I'm not doing this, but I'm back.
Here we go.
I'm doing
Here we
something.
are.
I got like, well, not full. I used to do like once or twice a month, but now I'm like once every 3 months.
Oh, okay. Well, you slowed it down at least, you know.
But it's still fun.
Yeah.
It's a different.
It's fun. I hate load in and I hate load out.
Well,
I don't care what it is, whether it's an original gig, cover gig, whatever. It's just moving that shit sucks.
My joke when people offer to help, I say no because this is what I'm getting paid for. I'm getting paid for the load in and the load out. You know, the half
middle part's fun.
The half talentless hacks singing songs in the corner that nobody's paying attention to. That's the part where I have fun.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, the load in, load out is the worst.
Yeah, it is, especially at night.
Yeah, especially at 1 a.m. when people are waiting for Ubers and they're fighting and there's.
That's entertaining though. I mean, I call that entertainment for me. Like, well, you know,
it is now.
Some drunk falls in the, you know, while you're playing. Entertainment for you.
At this age, it's fun, but
Chick
when you're
fight
young,
or something like that.
When there's 20-year-olds fighting and you're a 20-year-old, next thing you know, you're in the fight. That's when it's not fun. But now we're old dudes. You're like, oh, is that my dad? No, it's not.
Oh man,
that's good.
That is funny. What? So how the gigs been going for you? Like, you know, you're saying once every 3 months. Like, you seeing like an incline of people coming back out? Like,
yeah, for sure.
Okay.
The late night thing is.
So there's still hope for us.
Yeah, but what I'm seeing, and it depends on where. I think the late night thing is there, but.
You saw that trend coming out of COVID. Everything just goes earlier and earlier and earlier.
The weeknight stuff never came back. People were out later during the week.
Okay.
We were trying like 7 to 10 at a bunch of places. We're scaling things back to 6 to 9, but yeah, it's good though. I mean, people are definitely out. It's the Long Beach Island area and it's jamming.
How was the summer down there at that point?
Well, I was down in Beach Haven most of the time. I can only speak of down there, and it was insane.
Okay.
It was really good.
Oh,
yeah, really good.
It seems like there's more people in New Jersey now, or at the shore, or whatever you want
year
to call
round.
it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, I know. Just from working down there, this summer, the island was just insane. There was so many people.
Well, when I first started playing, my Thursday night venue was in Beach Haven at the Black Whale, and when I first started playing that back in 2019, it was only seasonal. It was like a 10-month. Initially, it was supposed to be just a 10-month out of the year thing, and they closed for the winter. And then when they closed that first year, I went and played elsewhere right before COVID, and then they're like, "Oh, you know what? We're gonna open up sooner." Then they opened up, and then COVID happened. But ever since then, like because so many more people that use their LBI residences as summer homes are now living there full time.
Yeah,
and there's 3 places that are open year round in Beach Haven now. You know, Buckaloo's, Tucker's, and the Black Whale.
Okay,
not counting the hotels. And they're all doing business. So there's definitely more people down there year round.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot. You know,
there's definitely a lot more permanent residents ever since COVID.
Oh yeah.
So what kind of rush do you get going from this band to this band to this band? And I mean from a show, like let's say this weekend you're doing a solo acoustic. Next weekend you're going to be with Dying Light, and then the following weekend you're the party band, and the other weekend after that is the other band, the more hard rock band. Like, how do you sit there and just be like, okay, this set of songs or this amount, and then okay, it's this playing style, and next week I got to change everything back.
It took me until fairly recently to find a good way of balancing all of it. It was a little overwhelming for a while. And then like certain songs started to bleed into both bands. And sometimes I would, you know, if this band couldn't play, I try to keep like the Impulsives and Fritz Electric separate.
Okay.
The set lists are different. The song lists are different. And, you know, I try not to intermingle the musicians, but Doug is the other guy from Dying Light. We're like joined at the hip since high school. So almost every band that I've been in, he's been in, and vice versa. And right now he's in the Impulsives, Fritz Electric, and Dying Light with me. So that's also an interesting thing because it opens up.
Well, once you have that chemistry with somebody and it just works, you don't fight it.
Absolutely. I don't use Doug much for the acoustic stuff because he doesn't dig it. He's not really comfortable with that. But even with the acoustic, a lot of it is improv. Honest to God.
Okay.
That's the draw that a lot of people like is that every time they come out to see me, it's different.
Okay.
And they can ask for requests, and because I have basically a jukebox of a brain, if I'm familiar with the song, I'll try that. And I have the iPad.
Even at Bird and Betty's, don't you almost do like an acoustic karaoke kind of thing too?
We used to. I was involved with that for several summers, live band karaoke. Yeah, we that's a whole other animal. It was fun while it lasted.
Yeah.
But then eventually, the novelty aspect of it wears off. Just like when I hosted open mic, we did live band karaoke for 3 summers, and I did open mic for 3 years. And the allure, the novelty wears off.
It gets old. Yeah.
You have to be like, and one of the managers at Old Causeway said it best. Like everything has to evolve, and it did. So
Yeah.
there's another band stepped in for us at Bird and Betty's, and they still do it. They do it on Thursday nights in the summer. The first summer we did it, I felt like we were hosting like a legit talent show because that's how good every single person was.
Yeah. But then once
so-
you get through all those people, you get
Yeah.
there's those other people out there that are
We didn't have
Sweet Caroline. Sorry,
we didn't
guys.
have a shaky year until last year, 2021 but that was because Doug wasn't with us, and the song list was a little off, and it just didn't work. But
gotcha.
did you ever see that Sweet Caroline? Did you see that video of the dude getting body slammed, just doing an acoustic gig?
No.
This dude just like what I do. He's singing Sweet Caroline, and somebody just comes up and doesn't want any of it and picks the dude up as he's singing and body slams him. I was like, well, he kind of deserved it. He's singing Sweet Caroline. Yeah,
It's a little much.
a bit much indeed.
It's kind of awesome. I mean, there you go. It's entertainment. Maybe as an outside, I wouldn't want to be body slammed, but that's great. But sorry, I got the visual of somebody body slammed.
Dude.
So, like, describe like a writing process for you. Like, if you're writing for like a metal band as compared to writing for the acoustic, like, what kind of do you have to like separate it and put it in a totally different headspace? Do you approach it differently?
Well,
Because they have to be quite different.
with Dying Light, I haven't come up with any of the music. So my creative process there is that Jim allows me to come up with my own bass parts at least, and I can add to my own piece to my own paint on the canvas with my bass line. But where I'm used a lot with, I'm used 100% with Dying Light is with the vocal harmonies and where are the harmonies, and like my brain just hears that and it comes out of me.
Well, you got to have
And
an ear for it, you know.
So that creative process with Dying Light is the helping out with the harmony vocals and the bass parts. But for the acoustic thing, I will usually come up with a chord progression. I'll hear something in my head, or I'll hear a vocal melody, and then I'll put the chords to that, hum it out, then put the words down after. Sometimes the words and the chords just will come out
So
all
kind of
together.
like a foundation and build.
Yeah. And the same thing, like I hear where the harmonies are going to go, but I want to try a different thing. I don't know what works for me yet. I've had an idea of writing like the same way like a writer approaches a novel. You come up with like an idea, and then you maybe write down names for each chapter, and then write around that. And I'm thinking about maybe doing that with a documentative group of songs, and come up with a song title for each that represents an era, and then maybe starting from there. Like I've never tried that, so
Yeah, it's different.
yeah. So I really don't have a process. I'm still trying to figure it out. You know what I mean?
Everybody's process is different, man.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like our process is, I say, "Hey Jeff, check out this riff," and he goes, "That fucking sucks." But if we take out half of it and put this part in, and then we just kind of melt. We kind of take what I have and meld it with what he's got.
What the process that fascinates me is like the Jerry Garcia, Robert Hunter, or the Elton John, and who's the dude that writes for him? Bernie Taupin. So like Bernie Taupin writes lyrics and gives them to Elton John, and then he comes up with the music for the words that he's looking at. Mm-hmm. Bernie doesn't give him a vocal melody. This is how it's sung. No, it's just here's my words, and that's what Robert Hunter kind of did with Jerry Garcia. Like that fascinates me. Yeah. So I'd like to do that too, and do some. So I don't really fancy myself much of a lyric writer either.
So I couldn't do lyrics first like me. It's always you start with the riff.
I want to try.
Work your way up, and then you hear the melody, and then you fit the words to the melody.
Yeah. And a couple of these songs that I even recorded today, like one song Jim collabed with me, and he helped me. He wrote a verse. He helped me take out one verse and keep my verse, put his verse in. So yeah.
Well, sometimes an outside ear is always good because it just hears that one little thing that it's always been there for you.
Yep.
But he could hear something that's a little better.
And Pete Sullivan, you know Peter.
Yeah.
So I wanted to have him help me because he's been writing forever and he's like prolific songwriter. So there's
And
one
we're
song.
gonna try to get him on here soon too.
You really should. So there's one song that I've been stuck with for about 2 years. I was like, it's just not done. I have everything pieced together, and I just want your help. And so I gave him the song, like a file of it, and he listened to it. I go to his house, and he's like, well, this first verse is about this, so maybe the next verse should be about that. He didn't tell me what to write. All of a sudden, it was just like, bam. All right, like I had the verse. Okay, what else? He said maybe. So he was like my muse. The next thing I know, I had this song done. So I don't know what that process was. I don't know if Pete had some mojo going on, inspiration. I don't know, but so
whatever
I think
works, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes you just need that outside ear, and that's
Yep.
because you're so focused on what's already there, you're not hearing what could be.
Yeah.
True.
And most of the time, I come up with something, and then I can't come up with anything else. And every time I go back to it, like I can't. Like I'm done. I just can't see where to go with this. That's why I read recently. It might have been John Lennon was quoted, but somebody famous like that was, once you come up with an idea, like life has to stop. To just stop what you're doing until that song is done. Don't come back to it. Finish it right away.
Yeah.
Okay, if you say so.
Yeah. That works. That works.
Try.
It works all different ways.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
Because I know with me and him, a lot of it's like we start on one thing, and then it'll kind of evolve into something. By the time we're done, it's night and day from where we began.
it's because I cut half the shit out of it.
It's true.
It's like the producer and me where I go, yeah, that's really fucking cool. Just play those 3 notes. Never mind the 30 other ones.
I do write a little busy for a bass player.
Whatever.
I admit.
But so is there anywhere people can find you? Do you do like YouTube, Spotify, or
Right now, I'm very low key.
Okay.
I have Instagram dedicated Chris Fritz Music. It's for all my music stuff for gigs, and I also post my whatever I'm listening to every 10 minutes.
Okay.
So people like it for that. And I have a Facebook page, which is linked to the Instagram account.
Now the cover bands, they have their websites.
The cover bands. Well, the Fritz Electric is just operates under my social media.
Okay.
The Impulsives has their own Instagram and Facebook, as does Dying Light.
And that's where everybody can kind of find your shows and stuff like that.
Yep.
All
I'll
right.
try to throw some links in the video for everybody, so they can track you down.
Try get that shit in there. Make your fucking magic, bro. Come on, man. I want to see it now. I'm looking.
No,
Tech.
no. When we get to the YouTube part of it,
Oh, the YouTube.
yeah, the descriptions of the video. Come on, man.
So, what will you be playing for us today?
Good question. I actually didn't make up my mind yet. So
Well, I guess you're kind of gonna have to do that, huh?
yeah, I do. I think I'm gonna do.
I do.
I think I'm gonna do I'm gonna do Regret or Reflection. It's a song I wrote when when the pandemic and lockdown was going on. My older daughter was a senior in high school.
Ooh.
And yeah, terrible, right? So many kids, so many people. But the song just came out and got it done.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your words of wisdom.
Words.
I do like hearing how other people approach things. Like that's why I asked like switching the gears, because I did that and I remember it being a pain in the ass,
well,
and I did like reggae to rock to like,
I love it. So I also have, I didn't even get to it, but I play a lot with Time Airs. We do acoustic duo or trio, and we do a ton of dead stuff. And so I go from
You're all over
from
the
Dying
map.
Light to like the party rock band to my I guess Americana kind of songwriting that I do, and then my solo gigs, which are everywhere, and then but that's all the music that I love. I mean, I can listen to everything in one day. I'll go from Slayer to Merle Haggard. It's just I love them both.
that's awesome.
It's crazy.
Music's a powerful thing, man.
Yeah, man.
It's a powerful thing. All right, well, we'll get him set up in the other room.
Cool.
We'll do some songs. Oh, real quick. Got to shout out the sponsor,
Oh,
Low
yes.
Fidelity Records on Main Street in Belmar. You can go check them out anytime you want. Great
One of
little
my
record
favorite
store.
record stores.
Yeah, cool.
I'm glad
cool
to hear that
people,
he's
yeah.
sponsoring this. I actually
Yeah.
was coming back from Asbury tonight, and he just moved across the street.
Yep, I was just going to say, they
And-
just moved across the street.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I was like, oh, maybe they're open. Maybe they're open. I'm pretty sure they're closed on Mondays. But I drove by and got to see the inside from the street. But
Yeah, much bigger shop.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
So,
We'll get you some shows there.
Yeah, I was actually going to talk to Dave about that, but I like to reserve that for the younger kids. But if he ever wants an old geezer to come in there and do a short set before the youngsters.
Well, they normally do like 2 or 3 acts in a night, and it's like the first act will be just like a quick 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
And then the second act will do more like a half hour, 45.
I've had many conversations with Dave, but it's mostly all been about music and records in Jersey City. And
he's a very cool dude.
I don't even think he knows I'm a musician, so.
It happens.
He'll know now.
All right.
There you go.
And if you want to get in touch with the podcast, jsmpinfo@gmail.com, and Jeff will get right back to you.
Yeah, it goes right into spam.
Yeah, right.
Look back on life we took for granted. Did we do those things right? Or are we just stranded? Time races by, we're left here to question. Are these tears in my eyes from regret or reflection? We're all racing around, trying to chase our dreams down so we don't get caught up in transgressions. Well, the taught we should be is life's mystery, all our pains beneath our suppression. As the world slips away from our grasp, how I wish we could relive our past. I want to take all those missed moments back and make it all seem perfect. In a time when there screams death and the truth, an unbearable weight carried by our youth, praying they don't fall their own damnation, trying to hold themselves high with the world's expectation. We're all racing around, trying to chase our dreams down so we don't get caught up in transgressions. Well, the taught we should be is life's mystery, all our pains beneath our suppression. As the world slips away from our grasp, how I wish we could relive our past. I wanna take all those missed moments back and make it all seem perfect. Around, trying to chase our dreams down so we don't get caught up in transgressions. Well, the taught we should be is life's mystery, all our pains beneath our suppression. As the world slips away from our past, how I wish we could relive our past. I wanna take all those missed moments back and make it all seem perfect.